Imagine walking through the empty halls of a once thriving shopping center. The echoes of your footsteps bounce off the walls, and the air is thick with the scent of decay. But you're not alone. Something or someone is watching you. Welcome to the haunted history of abandoned malls. Abandoned malls are more than just relics of a bygone era. They're time capsules filled with stories of economic collapse, urban decay, and the supernatural. Today, we're diving into the chilling tales behind three of the most infamous abandoned malls in America. But before we get into the ghost stories, let's answer three burning questions. Why do malls become abandoned in the first place? What makes these places so haunted? And what eerie encounters have people reported in these forgotten spaces? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only have the answers to these questions, but you'll also get a glimpse into the dark side of urban exploration. I've spent months researching these locations, interviewing urban explorers, and even visiting one of these malls myself. So, let's get started. The Curse of Rolling Acres Mall, Akron, Ohio. Have you ever heard of a mall that was so cursed that even its demolition was filled with tragedy? That's the story of Rolling Acres Mall in Akron, Ohio, where ghost stories intertwine with the dark history of neglect and desolation. Rolling Acres Mall opened in 1975 and was one of the largest shopping malls in the area at the time. Home to over 140 stores, the mall was bustling with life every day. But over time, the mall began to lose its luster. By the early 2000s, most of the stores had closed, and the once bustling halls were silent. But the silence was deceptive. Urban explorers who visited the mall began reporting strange experiences. Some said they heard whispers coming from the empty shops, while others saw shadows moving between the deserted stalls. The most common feeling among visitors was a sense of dread and fear that pervaded the place. But the most terrifying story comes from a security guard who worked at the mall during its closure. The guard was patrolling the building at night, and one night, he saw a woman in a white dress wandering around the food court. When he approached her, she suddenly disappeared without a trace. After that incident, the guard began hearing strange noises and feeling like he was being watched all the time. One night, while circling upstairs, he heard a child crying. Following the sound, he found himself in an abandoned children's play area, where there were dolls scattered on the floor. Suddenly, the dolls stopped moving, and he heard an evil laughter fill the place. But the story didn't end there. In 2013, during the demolition of the center, a tragic accident occurred when part of the building fell on one of the workers, leading to his death. Many believe that this incident was the result of the center's curse, and that the spirits inhabiting the place were not ready for his departure. Some of the workers who participated in the demolition even said that they saw shadows moving in the rubble, and heard voices warning them not to continue. What makes Rolling Acres Mall a site of so much paranormal activity? Some believe it's negative energy that has built up due to neglect and desolation, while others believe the grounds themselves were cursed from the start. Local legend has it that the mall was built on an old battlefield, and that the spirits of soldiers killed there still haunt the site. Whatever the reason, Rolling Acres Mall remains one of the most haunted abandoned malls in America. The ghosts of Dixie Square Mall, Harvey, Illinois. Next up, we have Dixie Square Mall in Harvey, Illinois. This mall is famous not just for its ghost stories, but for its connection to one of the most iconic movie scenes of all time, Open. In 1966, Dixie Square Mall was one of the most modern shopping malls in the area at the time. But just 13 years later, the mall was closed due to economic decline. Since then, the mall has been abandoned and a gathering place for vandals and urban explorers. But ghosts have also been regular visitors. Many people who have visited the mall have reported hearing strange noises, seeing ghosts appear in empty stores, and feeling an eerie presence in the restaurant area. One urban explorer, Mark, said that while visiting the mall in 2005, he saw a group of ghosts shopping in an abandoned clothing store. When he approached them, they suddenly disappeared, but he found clothes scattered on the floor as if someone had tried them on. But the most exciting story comes from the filming of the Blues Brothers in 1980. The mall was used as a location for the famous car chase scene. But during filming, the crew began to notice strange things. Some equipment would stop working suddenly, and others said they saw ghosts watching them from the upper floors. Actor John Belushi, who played Jake Blues, later said in an interview that he felt a strange presence in the mall, as if he was being watched all the time. In 2012, the mall was finally demolished, but the ghost stories are not over. Some believe that the mall's ghosts are the spirits of people who used to shop there and never left, while others believe they are victims of violent crimes that occurred in the area. There is a local legend that the mall was a gang meeting place in the 1980s, and that some of those gang members were killed inside the mall, and their spirits still haunt it. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying that Dixie Square Mall has a dark and eerie history. It's a reminder that even ordinary places can become extraordinary and scary when they're left to rot. Ghost shoppers at Dead Mall, Massachusetts. Finally, we have a mall so famous for its ghosts that its name alone is enough to inspire terror. Massachusetts Dead Mall, where the past is still alive. The Dead Mall, officially known as Greendale Mall, opened in the 1980s and was a popular shopping destination at the time. But as larger malls emerged and online shopping became more prevalent, the mall began to lose customers. By the early 2010s, the mall was nearly deserted, but the emptiness didn't last long. Urban explorers began reporting strange occurrences, such as hearing footsteps in empty aisles, seeing lights flashing in closed stores, and even encountering what they called ghost shoppers, apparent figures dressed in 1980s clothing, who wandered the mall as if it were still in its heyday. One of the creepiest stories comes from a group of urban explorers who visited the mall in 2015. They said they saw a group of ghost shoppers enter a closed store. When they followed them, they found the store empty, but they could still hear laughter and conversations. One of the group members, named Sarah, said she felt a touch on her shoulder, and when she turned around, she didn't see anyone, but she found a piece of clothing from the 1980s lying on the floor. There is also another story about a security guard who worked at the center in the 1990s. He said that one night, while he was walking around the center, he saw a group of children playing in the play area. When he approached them, they suddenly disappeared, but he heard the sound of a child's laughter filling the place. After that incident, he began hearing the sounds of children playing every night, even after the center closed. The Dead Mall is a terrifying reminder of how quickly the world changes. What was once a vibrant shopping mall is now a ghostly relic. But for those who dare to explore, the past is still alive, and the ghosts are still shopping. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we've got more scary content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, the past never really goes away, it's just waiting to be discovered.